satisfied. I hope you guys have been satisfied with the results, at least to see how it affects the games. But before we do that, of course, spawning in the top position as the blue Protoss player from Team Root Gaming, down 1-3 in this best of 7 from, I already said from Root, it is Chad Minigun Jones. And his opponent, spawning in the southwest, as the red Terran player from Team Millennium, who has been playing quite well. I kind of mentioned before, I haven't seen him play too much recently, but damn, he's been playing pretty well, especially with the added buff from the Widowmine patch that we've been looking at. It is Millennium's Dayshi. So Dayshi has been playing a pretty good match. It's kind of interesting to think about, how you can compare this to a standard Terran versus Protoss when the Mothership Core would have a bit more vision range. The Widow Mines are completely useless. And I guess the Widow Mines, actually, I want to say the Mothership Core patch is this, this is not honestly the show match to say that the Mothership Core nerf is really at fault here. We saw one instance where it made easier for Dayshi to attack Minigun on heavy rain, but Minigun kind of set himself up well to scout for that type of play afterwards anyway, and Dayshi's going to open up with 15 gas again. But more to the point, Dayshi has been showing us a little bit more of what this Widowmine patch could do. The majority of Protoss players that we've been seeing in pretty much the metagame across the board for PvT is the use of storm-based openers or charge lots, charge lot Archon, charge lot storm all-ins, like all those sorts of plays are really popular at the moment. So the Widowmine play acts as an interesting, I feel, counterbalance to that in terms of being able to force a Protoss player to not do that same exact thing every single game, or for at least the majority of their games, since it would be more difficult to do things like all-in with Blink Stalkers. And Dayshi's scouting very diligently with his SCV. He will not have a Reaper this game, so he just builds 2 Marines, then a Reactor. This is a slightly less standard build. We don't see too many Terran players employ this anymore. I think the first time I ever saw a Terran player open up with this 15 gas into the mine drop was MMA in the GSTL preseason during the Heart of the Swarm beta. So it's like a Heart of the Swarm build, really. Nobody ever did this in Terran versus Protoss and Wings of Liberty. This Zealot's just trying to play center here and keep the SCV out, but he's not able to get the kill. Mothership Core is out, though. And as you can see, he's just going to check around his base. He's making sure everything is okay. It doesn't have a crazy amount of vision as it did before, but I feel this is still a somewhat reasonable compromise for being able to scout for proxies. He can still move it around. It's not like it got made slower or anything like that. But the factory is on the way for Dayshi, so we're going to have a 2-base mine drop. And this is kind of interesting. Because Minigun, the last time that this type of play happened on heavy rain, when he got hit with that, a fast mine drop, he took a lot of damage from it. And you could go so far as to say that it gave Dayshi potentially enough of a lead to really pull the game forward. But the bunker is already done, so this Zealot Mothership Core Stalker poke, I don't really feel it can do too much. But it looks like Minigun wants to just make sure the bunker is full, send the Mothership Core into the main base, and deal some damage. But now comes in, sees the Marines. He's like, well, this is the thing, though. With the original Mothership Core vision, if he went this far, he would have probably seen this barracks with a Reactor. But the Starport and Factory are hidden so far behind that because Dayshi's Supply Depot has the same vision range as the, well, actually a little bit less than the Mothership Core, he can actually... Does he get the read? Okay, he saw the factory, so he had to be a little bit more careful. But he was still able to get in there and scout, which I guess is the most important part. Like, he didn't have as much vision range, but he was still able to go in and see the scout. And, I understand people are gonna... There's a lot of debate, of course, about the matchup Terran versus Protoss. But as far as the test patch goes, this whole entire show match has really just been to examine the test patch, the kind of impact that it would have on games. So I don't necessarily mean to be biased towards Protoss or towards Terran at any point, but I still feel like it's important to keep in mind how this would affect an actual pro-level game and the possible consequences of making the Mothership Core a weaker unit as far as scouting capabilities go, and making the Widowmine well, the destroyer of worlds, especially zealots. So a couple more gateways are on the way for Minigun. He has an observer on the way, +1 armor. Very standard setup. No Twilight, though. So I'm actually, are we going to see a Robo Bay? This is not a bad map for it. This is arguably one of the worst maps in the current ladder pool to pull your SCVs to kill someone. Of course, the worst map being Alterzim Stronghold. It's literally impossible to SCV pull to kill a 2-base Protoss. So Dayshi does have a loaded medevac. He has 2 Widow Mines, though. And these Stalkers, they are trying to play ball as best they can. But he does get up on the ramp, and the ramp is a hard area to defend. The Nexus cannon is active in the natural. Dayshi, he's loading up the rest of these Marines. This elevator, 16 Marine, 2 mine elevator. If these mines get close enough, he could just kill Minigun right here. And he's moving up. He's not afraid to attack his opponent. And this is, well, this is Dayshi bringing the pain. And the Widow Mines burrow. The Stalkers do manage to avoid the Widow Mine pain. But there's so many Marines here. Dayshi, has he done it? He's destroying probes left and right. The Widow Mines are going to get closer to that mineral line. They've dug their way in. And he can just park here, pick off units left and right. The robotics bay is complete, but he was not able to get the Colossi in time, it seems. Observer helps to clean up the mines. And now that the mines are done, he can pick off the rest of these Marines. But these Marines did a ton of damage, even delaying the +1 armor from finishing for the Root Gaming Protoss player. So Minigun has sustained yet again another blow. 7 probes killed by that attack, as well as a plethora of gateway units and the mothership core itself, which is now being rebuilt. Of course, Minigun is just going to straight up open Colossus this game. We are seeing the most variety in the setup here that we've ever seen. And just a very quick, want to briefly mention this for people that are wondering, you know, okay, obviously this shell match is not a reasonable way to balance to gauge who is better. It's very possible that Minigun could actually obliterate Dayshi if Dayshi didn't have, you know, these really strong Widow Mines or the weaker mothership core. So the prize pool for this is split very close. It's 125 to the winner and 75 to the loser. This is basically, you know, it's very difficult to encourage pro players to play on these test maps. So if you punish the loser too much, then they actually just they won't even take the patch into consideration, and they'll just play normally. So it's just trying to keep things interesting here. But we've had some pretty good games so far, and Minigun is giving us the most cookie cutter standard opener that we have seen from him so far in this series. He's taken this Colossus build, and he's getting Blink, so he's going to go Blink Stalker Colossus, which is not a bad army composition. It's not as popular as it used to be, but it is pretty cool to see this. So Minigun watching over with the Observer. He's acutely aware of the army positioning of Dayshi, so he knows. And I think he sees the third base moving out. As a Protoss player, you see the Terran taking his third, and one of the first things that you want to do is take your own third. Or I guess all-in, but Minigun's not, I wouldn't necessarily say he's set up for an all-in. He's just on 6 gateways. The second Colossus, or maybe the third one, could be enough to go for an attack with Blink, but he's going to leave himself exposed to counterplay like this medevac that's moving in right now. So he's moving out a few Stalkers to clear the tower. She has the probe at, but he will kill this Marine that was sent to scout and take the tower back. And here comes the drop to the main base. The mothership core is not there, and this is the danger of moving out. Here it comes. Widow Mine's going to burrow, and we're going to see Widow Mine on probe action. It's the only thing we haven't seen in this series yet. The Colossus that comes out is enough to deter the Marines for now. Stalkers as well. And Blink is almost done, so he should be able to grab this. Maybe? No, it's 10 seconds away. He does keep the medevac alive. Very, very close. And could he get there from the low ground? Maybe. He's going to try. And the medevac, oh, he does. He does kill it. That sucks. Viking production on the way, though. Dayshi is pumping out a lot of Vikings, and he's also ceased his production of Widow Mines. And this is a really cool I like this the action reaction that we're getting out of Dayshi and Minigun. Minigun saying, "Look, I don't want to play versus your mine crap. Let's go Colossi. You have to build Vikings now." And Dayshi is going to be very comfortable in saying, "Okay, build Vikings. That's fine." Terrans were pretty used to building lots of Vikings in the earlier phases of Heart of the Swarm, and throughout entirety of Wings of Liberty, because it was very difficult without the Mothership Core to open up Templar without getting killed by fast drops. So the Colossus is a great counterbalance to the Widowmine adjustment. But the Vikings mean that if Dayshi takes a good fight, he can pretty much just pull all his SCVs and kill. He can just pull all his SCVs and attack and kill Minigun if Minigun loses too much in any one fight, since there's no storm. But let's see. Charge is on the way. +2 attack is on the way for Minigun. And Minigun is actually getting +2 attack before +1 armor. And it might seem strange because, I mean, it is. But for this army composition, it's actually relatively normal to go for attack upgrades. Stalkers are basically like paper thin anyway. Colossi are teeter-tottering giraffes. They all die very fast. Armor upgrades do not really have an effect on that bonus damage that Vikings and Marauders do to them. So you want to get attack upgrades so you can just kill the opposing units faster than you'd typically be able to. Second Forge is being added on as well to get that +2 armor. But Minigun Stalker is being forced back. And Dayshi has broad SCVs. Not a lot. Like maybe 8. And he's going to try to kill him right here. There are 5 Colossi. I don't know. Can he? A Time Warp might do the trick. He's going to burrow some Widow Mines, but oh, how much will he get done? The Widow Mines actually, well, they hurt a couple of his Vikings, but the Stalkers have been mostly neutralized, which means the Vikings can kill these Colossi. And this is one of the reasons why Protoss players like to open up Storm, guys. This exact scenario is why the Widow Mine buff, I feel, forces an interesting threat to the metagame of TvP. That was GG from Minigun, and Dayshi does turn out to be the winner of our best of 7 here at the Kappa